We're a diverse region. We have the Catskills, or parts of the Catskills, in Sullivan County. We have urban centers, many of which are distressed, which need help. We have farmland. We have Fortune 100 companies. We have an international airport with great capacity to deal with freight, which would relieve pressure off our New York City airports. We've collaborated with the regional planning organization in our area called Patterns for Progress. We convened extensive outreach in our region. We brought together focus groups. We met with business leaders, CEOs of corporations, and like the governor said in his remarks, a great deal of our attention was devoted to the private sector because these are where jobs, the vast majority of jobs are going to be developed. But we also reached out to the community. We had over 1,000 community participants, and we conducted meetings, extensive meetings in all the 7 counties. But I would finally make the point that we believe that our region is somewhat at a tipping point. If we don't address problems in some of our distressed urban centers, we think that's going to detract from the economic vitality of our entire region.
We have some cool places in our area. The riverfront area in Yonkers has really come back. Beacon is really a shining beacon that you can do this, but we have need. We clearly have need. The demographics of living in our region are quite impressive. It's a big region. There's almost 4,500 square miles. There's 198 cities, towns, villages. So we have the physical resources, we have the geography, people want to live here, but we have to retain the millennials. We have to make sure that they want to be in these areas. And that means smart growth, it means transit-oriented development, it means spurring downtown revitalization. There shouldn't be a company in any region that gets a nickel of state money to support a high-tech enterprise that doesn't have a requirement to give a disadvantaged or underrepresented student a paid internship. Lieutenant Governor, I think you should pass a law. I think you should make it the rule you can't get state money for these types of things if you're not willing to give at least an internship to somebody who won't experience this kind of high-tech development. It's the only thing that makes sense.
And then, of course, in the area of the high-tech work STEMs, where we think the higher paid jobs will be created. One, we want to continue the type of work that Lynn has done in biotechnology development. We think we are making progress in that area. We want to continue our emphasis on information technology and working with some of the leading technology companies in the United States. We believe we have a program that will help establish New York State as not only a state leader in cybersecurity, but an international leader in cybersecurity, which is critical to some of the core industries in this state, but is also projected to be an area of huge job growth in the coming decade. And then finally, we want to create in our urban settings some what are called live-work innovation spaces, where there are housing units, but also innovation spaces for young entrepreneurs. Again, coming to the urban centers, the distressed areas, bringing some technology and maybe artistic initiatives to those areas, again, creating the higher paying jobs, but also elevating what we believe to be some of the areas that are in need of attention.
We have a prison, by the way. I know our prisons haven't worked exactly like we'd like lately, but we do have a prison that people would like to visit. We have a little project going where we're trying to get people to go up the river and see Sing Sing.
I was in San Francisco. I was a group of 30 people, and we were having dinner, and you could see Alcatraz Island. I said, if you came to New York and Sing Sing, again, going upriver, the big house from a lot of movies, if it was a tourist attraction, would you go see it? And almost every person in the room raised their hand. And there is a Sing Sing museum, as you know, so we have a proposal to build on that to make it another tourist attraction in our area.
I think we ought to get 2 of our 198 towns together, let them merge and come up with a new name. Let them call themselves Napa East. You're laughing at that, huh? If you raise your hand, how many people in this room have ever heard of Napa? I bet you everybody's heard of Napa. If you go to California, ask them how many people have heard of the Hudson Valley? A couple, a few New Yorkers who moved out west. Yet the Hudson Valley is ranked by National Geographic as one of the top 20 most important must-see places in the world. How can that be? We have to do a better branding. Maybe we just call it Napa East. We get in town and we steal that brand a little bit from California. Or maybe we come up with a new brand. But we have all the resources here. We have breweries. We have one of the oldest wineries in the world. The tourism industry in our region is $4 billion now. In New York, it's $400 billion. We get 1%, we double our region's tourism just by getting a better brand.